What is the most profitable area in the marketplace for you to compete in? Is it better for you to actually go into an existing category that has a high competition level or maybe even a low competition level? Is it better for you to actually create your own category and a gap in the marketplace? What are the key leading competitive strategies? And more importantly, what is going to bring the most amount of profit to you? That's some of the things that we're going to talk about in today's video. What I need you to do is hit that subscribe button, read the caption below if you're not already a member of our exclusive video training membership, and get ready to succeed. We'll start right after the intro. Okay, so we've had a number of videos already guiding us to this point. We've identified our competition. We've identified in the eyes of our target audience and their perception, how exactly do they see the competition. We've mapped out the competitive landscape with a positioning map. And we've identified gaps in the positioning map. We've identified high competitive areas, low competitive areas. Now it's time to take action. Now we're finally ready for you to decide what strategy is best for you. But I hope you understand and you can actually see why we had to do all of those activities first. You cannot jump into a strategy without doing the homework. So you've done a fantastic job. You've done your background work. Now we're ready to decide what strategy is best for us. And that is what we're going to talk about today in this video, is what is the best way to compete, all right? So here are a number of targeting strategies. I'm going to go over every single one, and then I'm going to help you decide what is the best one for you. So the number one strategy is niche down. Now, down in the South, they say niche. If I go out Midwest in certain areas, it's niche. And the Northeast, we call it niche, all right? So it's the same exact thing. You're going to hear different accents, but I'm going to call it a niche. Niche down. So what exactly is a niche? What exactly does it mean to niche down, all right? When you're competing in a niche market or you are applying a niche strategy, what you're doing is you're just targeting a small group of people, specific customers in a specialized area. So when a big company, because they're serving so many different people, they will have more of a generalized solution or a generalized product. You know, if you go to Walmart, you can get TV, but you're not going to get a highly specialized TV. You can get a computer, but you're not going to get a highly specialized computer. You're going to get clothes, but you're not going to get high fashion clothing, right? It's more of a generic line that caters to a large group of individuals. One of the benefits with a niche strategy is because you're only going after a small group of people, you can actually create customizable packages and solutions and services for that specific group. Now, we have a whole series coming out that's going to talk about creating products and creating solutions and creating services. So that's in a different area, but that's one of the benefit about niche market. The other thing you got to realize, and especially when you're a new business, and we've talked about this before, you cannot be everything to everyone. You cannot be everything to everyone. It is better to be something to someone. And a niche market actually helps you to do that. If you're focusing on competing on a niche, a specific group of people, now instead of trying to spread your resources thin around so many different entities, now you're just focusing on one group and you're something really special to that group, right? And also you got to remember your resources are limited. Your resources are, this is all things we talked about in the targeting section. Your resources are limited. So when you pick a niche market, especially if you're starting out, you have the ability now to focus all of your resources and all of your energy on capturing this one group of individuals. All right. So that is the first strategy, a niche market. Now, take a look at this right here. Let me show you some examples. And I want you to pay attention to this circle right here in the middle. Now, this right here is the position map that we've been using in the last series of videos. The red circles are current established categories already. The blue circles are what we call gaps in the marketplace because no one's in there. Notice why I circled this one in the middle, right? So this category right here, this gap in the marketplace, it's very highly unlikely you're going to be in that space because this right here is highly unhealthy food for an exorbitantly high price, right? Very few people are going to pay such a high price for unhealthy food. This section is very healthy food for a very low McDonald's style price, right? That might be very challenging to do a high level of nutritious food for such a low price. But this in the middle is pretty interesting. So you have a highly healthy food option that's moderate, right? That's right down the middle. That's a little bit more than Panera, maybe a little bit less than Chili's, but something in this level right here that possibly could be doable. Well, that's a niche, right? That's a new category. It's a gap in the marketplace, and it's a small subset of individuals. So maybe what I want to do in my business strategy as I'm going for a niche market is instead of creating a restaurant or a food option that services everyone, maybe I actually create healthy salads and subs. I don't have the overhead of a storefront. So instead what I do is I actually deliver to office buildings for lunch only, and all my ingredients are from scratch. All right? So pay attention to this right here. Will you agree, number one, that in different districts, they have a lot of office buildings, and a lot of people in those office buildings need something for lunch, right? So that is a very specific niche. That's a subset. That is a small group of specialized individuals. And now what are you offering for them? Well, if they have a very short lunch break, maybe an hour is not enough time for them to actually leave the office building, get in their car, drive to a favorite restaurant, park, go inside, eat, and then get back to the office within an hour. So what this option is, it's a delivery service where you'll actually deliver healthy salads, everything's made from scratch, as well as subs. Now, because you don't have the overhead of an actual storefront and you're not open around the clock, that actually allows you to bring the cost down for a convenient option, right? This is what we call niche as far as a different option. So you're offering a different type of solution for a specific subgroup. So the different type of solution is this delivery, healthy food, salads, homemade from scratch. And the specific groups of individuals, downtown district, they work in the office buildings, you're going to deliver them lunch, right? Who else does something like this? Whole Foods, right? So Whole Foods doesn't have a mass audience. They don't cater to everyone. They're a little bit higher than your typical local neighborhood grocer, but they're not as expensive as one of the high-end specialty grocers, right? So they're somewhere pretty much in the same positioning map. So one option is do you offer something completely different for a group of individuals that they would find valuable, all right? So that's one strategy. Here's another strategy. Take a look at this. This is another positioning map. And let's say this is a series of business consultants. Now, each one of these letters represents a different consultant agency. Each one of these letters represents a different consultant agency, right? So A is an agency, B is an agency, C is an agency, D, so on and so forth. Now, take a look at these axes. I have price right here. So the cheaper consultancies are on this side. The more expensive are over here. And then I have level of involvement. Like, for example, if there is a consultancy down in this level, that's going to be pretty much on-demand videos. The higher you go up, you might have live events. Then you might have classes. Then you might actually have one-on-one training, so on and so forth, all right? So this right here shows level of involvement. This right here is level of price. This is the positioning map. But pay attention to what we're going to do right now. This is very interesting. And I think this is going to be something that you're going to make a lot of money on, to be honest with you, especially if you're going for a niche market. Take a look at this diagram. Look what we did. Same exact information, same exact consultancies, same exact, we got involvement and price. But here is what I did. And this is something that you can do. I have 4 different segments. And these segments are different industries. So I have retail, general, which means they generalize, they consult everyone. Services, so service industries, and construction. Now, same thing, level of involvement. So in the general, the higher up you are right here, that is the higher level involvement. Down here is the lower level involvement. Now remember, price is horizontal. So anyone here would be a lower price, but anyone on this side of this reddish section would be higher price. Same thing with services. Lower price to the left, higher price to the right. So this is another way that you can organize your positioning map. And look at the different type of information that I have. Look at the different type of information that I have. Now, one of the things that you can do is take a look at this right here. I'm in the construction niche, right? And this price right here, so right now I am on a less involved, right? Actually, I got a significant amount of involvement right here. So I'm not highly involved, but everything under, there's no one competing in that space. Price wide open. Wide open. So though there might be a lot of competition, if I actually look on this chart, if I actually niche down and focus on industries and construction as an example, this area is wide open. If I can actually create a business consultant agency that focuses primarily on the construction sector, I can actually create customized packages, customized offering geared specifically for construction firms, general contractors, builders, you name it, whatever I'm going to specialize in. And I have this wide open. I can make a pretty good living just focusing on this right here. So that's what we're talking about, niche down. We're not focusing on, in this example, not all business consultancy. Let me focus on an industry or a segment or a sector. And is there any gaps in the marketplace that I can go over, right? So niche, this is what we call a customized niche strategy. And in this strategy right here, what we're going to do is we're going to first select a specific industry or a segment. And what we want to do is we want to find industries or segments that are currently unserved or one that I have a connection in, right? So if you're someone that was in the restaurant industry and you're opening up a marketing firm, what might be a nice little customized niche for you? The restaurant industry. If you're someone that was in construction or services or business services, or maybe you were in an accounting firm and you were in a marketing agency, what could be your start? Well, the accounting firms, right? So what you're going to do, you're going to select a segment or an industry that is completely unserved, like we saw right here. This section is 100% unserved. You can jump in there. Or a sector that you have experience with, right? You know the people, you already know the ins and outs, you already have the connections, you have the experience, you have the know-how, you have a lot of value that you can offer this sector. So that's what you're going to jump into, right? And then what you want to do is you want to provide customized solution. So you're not just going to offer generic business training or business consulting. You're going to offer business training or business consulting that's specifically for those in the construction sector or the contractor sector or home builder sector, whatever sector that you select, all right? Let me give you an example. This is really interesting. So hotels actually do this, right? So you have obviously travelers in general. That's a big, gigantic, broad sector, right? There's a lot of people that travel for many different reasons. But what we could do is we can actually break down the different segments of travelers. Why do people travel? What are the different things that people are looking for, right? So you could actually have people that travel and they're in a specific area for an extended period of time. So they can't just have a regular hotel room, right? It's beneficial for them to have a mini kitchen, a refrigerator, a stove, some dishes, right? So we have a lot of hotels that are called extended stays that fit that segment. There another, maybe you're traveling with families and there's going to be small children and you want to have children-friendly amenities. Truckers, right? They're just trying to get from point A to point B. They really don't need anything special. They don't need a lot of amenities. They want something that's clean, that's comfortable, that's convenient, that's cheap. So maybe you gear your hotel around those needs, right? Then we also have highway travelers, people that might be going on vacations, but instead of flying, they're actually driving on the highway, or they're trying to get from one point to the other. And they want a nice hotel. They're not going to stay there long because they're sleeping overnight and then they're back on the road. But they want maybe it's breakfast in the morning, a nice comfortable room. Maybe it's dog friendly or pet friendly. So it's the same exact concept. The same exact concept of what we're talking about right here, where you're actually finding different segments in the marketplace, different niches, and what we're trying to do is we're trying to actually decide what is the areas that I have experience with, what are areas that are not met, are there segments that just do not have customized packages, and can you offer them that customized packaging, all right? So that is niche strategy, but a customized niche strategy. Okay, so here is another strategy. So I want you to take a look at this right here, right? So in construction, we only had one person competing in construction, and that was only in the high end. So the entire sector was pretty much open. But take a look at services, right? This is interesting because I have 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's a good amount of individuals competing in this one sector. I think out of everyone, what is that? The second most popular, tied for second most popular sector. But everyone is up on top, right? So everyone has high involvement and for the most part, pretty high in cost. Down here, it's wide open. It is wide open down here. So maybe you have experience in the service industry. Maybe you have connections in the service industry. But is there any way you might be able to put a package together that undercuts the current prices that are out there? That's another type of a niche market, right? So you have a lot of competition with high involvement and they're also a higher price. But can you try to find maybe a medium or lower type of involvement type service that you can offer at a cheap price? So this is the final niche strategy. It's called niche price, right? So what we're going to do is the same thing. We're going to select a specific industry or segment that's either underserved or that you have a connection with. And what we got to do is we got to try to find a cheaper solution. We got to try to find a cheaper solution, right? So through our expertise, through our experimenting, through us trying to draft things out, is there a way that we can offer a package or solution that's cheaper than what's currently being offered to that niche market, all right? So that is the first strategy, niche down. I can niche down by offering something different to a specific group of people. I can niche down by being more customized to a specific group of people, or I can niche down by offering something that is cheaper for a specific group of people. Now, if you are a small business, I highly recommend that your competitive strategy is to niche down, especially if you're starting off. And here's why. I say it all the time. Your resources are limited, right? Your resources are limited. It is better for you to find a segment that you can customize and you can make them happy and you can offer them service that's beyond anything that they've ever seen at a very attractive price. Focus on solidifying that base. Focus on those early adapters, right? Give them that competitive advantage that they're looking for. Focus on solidifying that group first, right? Don't even worry about anyone else. Build your business. You know, if your business grows and you're extremely profitable and you want to go into different segments down the road, that's perfectly fine. I personally recommend small businesses to niche down to start. Solidify a segment base, right? One that either you can offer something extremely different with, one that you can offer something customized, or one that you can actually offer a better price for that specialized segment, okay? So niche down is strategy number one. If that's not good for you, or if that really doesn't fit your business, the next strategy is what we call a cost leader, all right? I'm going to go back to this positioning map that we've been using previously, and this category right here. So you got McDonald's, you got Burger King, Chick-fil-A. That's what we call a cost leader. They are one of the cheapest price vendors available in that category. All right. So what is a cost leader? cost leader will compete on price. They will most likely have a lower profit margin. And the reason why they're able to get by with a lower profit margin is because they focus on economies of scale, right? So they're trying to get a lot of volume, a lot of sales from a lot of people because it's so cheap. But because they get so many sales from so many people, they are able to make an overall profit, all right? They probably have more generalized solutions, something that will satisfy everyone, okay? Here are some examples. McDonald's, Walmart, Amazon, Netflix. Now, some of you might be saying, okay, McDonald's, Walmart, Amazon, I completely get that. Netflix, what in the world are you talking about? How is Netflix a cost leader? Well, you're going to remember where Netflix came from. Back in the day, the competitor for Netflix was Blockbuster, Major Video. And at those days, you could pay anywhere from $3 a night just to rent a video or a movie, right? Think of how many movies people watch on Netflix in a month. Think of how many times they have watched a TV show on Netflix, anything that they've watched on Netflix throughout the month. Now, times that by $3, right? So $3 for each one that you watched. Is that less than the Netflix subscription? Most likely, yes. So that's why it is a cost leader, because what they were able to do is they were able to take something that was $3 a night per movie. Now, if you want to rent multiple movies, it's going to cost you $6 or $9, right? And they were able to give you all this content digitized for a low monthly fee. All right, so that's how they were a cost leader. So you might ask, yeah, I would love to be a cost leader, but like, how do you do it? Like, how do you make a profit? And this is where your business skills come in, right? So number one, you'd have to find some type of efficient distribution strategy. So Walmart, Amazon, they were able to actually revolutionize the distribution strategy, and that helped them save significant costs. Netflix, what they were able to do is completely eliminate the brick and mortar business, the actual retail store of renting a video. Everything is streamed. You don't have to worry about buying VHSs. You don't have to worry about DVDs or any of that stuff, right? Everything is streamed. So because of that cost not being existent, Netflix can drive the costs down, right? So that's one option, the distribution strategy. Next is have lean processes, Lean Six Sigma, a very efficient run business, right? If you're not wasting money and you have a high level of efficiency, that could possibly raise costs down. Economies of scope. So what we mean by, you heard of economies of scale, that means you're selling a lot of products. What economies of scope means is let's say you're a dairy company, right? And you're going to make milk and you're going to make cheese. Well, that kind of makes sense for the same company to have milk and cheese, because you're getting the milk from the cows, you process them, and then you can also have a byproduct of cheese with the same exact materials, all right? So that's, is there something that you could actually sell that's similar to your core product, but it's an offshoot, like cheeses to milk, all right? Economies of scope. You're offering other products that are directly in line with the stuff that you offer, all right? Supplier bargaining power. Walmart has a fantastic bargaining power from their suppliers because they sell so much. They're able to demand lower pricing from their suppliers. Are you selling so much that you can actually get a good deal? Or do you have a contract with a supplier that's absolutely astronomical that drastically brings your prices down? Automate, simplify. Is there any way for you to automate your system, to simplify your system? Low overhead, right? Are you in a situation that you have low overhead? So these are just the most popular ways that people can drive costs down. Of course, there's unlimited ways, but these are some of them. So, you can either niche down if you want to focus on a specialized segment in a specialized product or solution for that group. If that doesn't work for you, you can try to compete on cost, meaning you do everything you can to have the cheapest product around while still maintaining quality, all right? Number 3, differentiate. You probably hear this in marketing all the time, right? Differentiate. And what we're talking about is, how are you different from your competitors, right? How are you different from your competitors? What makes you unique? Now, here's the key here. Not only do you have to be different from your competitors, But you also have to be different and unique in a way that the consumer values, right? So if this difference or this level of uniqueness is truly different and unique, but the consumer does not value it, well, that's not really what we're talking about, right? Yeah, you're different, but no one cares, so no one's going to do business with you, right? Let me give you some examples. A lot of people love Texas Roadhouse, and when you mention Texas Roadhouse, they mention the bread rolls and the cinnamon butter, right? That's something that's unique. That's unique to them. People think about it, and I've often heard people say, hey, I want to go to Texas Roadhouse because of their bread rolls, right? Olive Garden, same exact thing, salad and breadsticks. Universal Studios allows you to ride the movies. Chick-fil-A is often known for their hospitality, right? What makes your business different? And remember, it's not what you say makes it different. In the perception of your target audience, what is different to them? What is special to them? What is unique about your brand to them? Or what can you create that's unique and special to them? All right, that's what we're talking about. Look at these two brands, Ferrari and Lamborghini. Now, from an outside standpoint looking in, you might say, well, they're pretty much the same exact thing. You know, luxury cars, sports cars, fast, powerful. I really don't understand the difference between the two brands, but there is actually a big difference between the two brands. So Lamborghini, they compete on aggressive raw power and aggressive design, right? So you can see in this picture right here the sharp edges, right? It is very bold, very aggressive in their design, right? Raw power. Ferrari's a little bit different. Yes, it's powerful. Yes, it's fast. But they try to emulate a more elegant Italian elegance through their style. They will have a more smooth and elegant design. Instead of these rough edges, right, it would be more smoothed out, more rounded edges. They're also known for their racing heritage, and they want to be known for a nice, smooth ride. So though you might think it's the same exact car, obviously you can see there are some differences, okay? So now, if you want to engage in a differentiation strategy, what exactly do you do, all right? So number one, you're going to want to focus on design function, all right? So when I say design function, really I am saying design and function. What can you offer that's going to be value to the consumer and different from your competitors? The design of your product, right? It could be the look of the car. That's what makes it different. The fashion of the clothes, the ambiance of the restaurant, right? So not only are we talking about function, but we're also talking about design as well, all right? How can you make something that's better than what is currently available at the current price or better? All right. So when we're talking about differentiate, you can't just offer what's currently available to that segment, but what can you offer that's better for that segment? All right. And then remember, you gotta appeal to consumers through unique offerings. All right. You gotta appeal to the consumer, appeal to their price, to their performance preference, to their social status preference, to their convenience preference, right? All these things that we talked about in the past. Look at the buyer persona. What motivates them? What are they looking to do? What are they looking to accomplish, right? What can you offer that's unique? What can you offer that's different? What can you offer that's going to be valuable to the consumer, right? That's what we're talking about in this situation right here. Now, remember, you have to resonate with the consumer. You have to resonate with their preferences, right? This could be features. This could be the quality of work that you create. It could be the design. It could be novelty. It could be branding. It could be service. Now, don't fall into this trap. Like I'll have people say, well, I have a coffee shop and I'm so different because my coffee is so much better than everyone else, okay? What makes it better? Well, it's just better. No. You need something concrete, solidified. What exactly is better about that coffee, right? Maybe the coffee is the same, but maybe your staff is trained to actually spend more time to find out about the person's day, and that's what brings them in. Maybe the ambiance is absolutely fantastic. Maybe your tables have fun games that people can play while they're there. Maybe maybe it has a unbelievable bakery in the back that other coffee shops don't have. All right. So that's one of the things you got to remember is it has to be tangibly different. The other thing you got to remember is you always have to be on top of this because what could be different today could be universal later. All right. There was a time where there was a restaurant that had this idea that said instead of people walking in, especially parents with children, why don't we cut a hole in the wall, allow people to drive up in their car, not leave the car, and then we'll give them the food, a drive-through window. Now everyone has a drive-through window, right? Before, a car that actually had a GPS in it was state of the art. Now they all have a GPS in it, right? Leather seats, power windows. These are all things that were high-level luxury items, but now they are becoming or have become more universal, right? So just be mindful of that you could have something that's completely different today, but could it be mainstream going forward, right? So just be attentive to that. Okay, so that's your competitive strategy. Are you going to niche down? Are you going to be a cost leader and offer a good quality cheaper than anyone else? Or are you going to provide something that's completely different than something that's already in the marketplace? Those are your three competitive strategies. And now what you need to do is you need to pick what's best for you. Okay, how exactly do you do that? Bible verse of the day, 1 Corinthians 9:24. Don't you realize that in a race, everyone runs, but only one person gets the prize? So run to win. And obviously in the biblical sense, this is talking about give it your all in every single situation. You might not win every race. You might lose a lot of races. You might win a lot of races. But regardless, always give it your best. Always give it your all. Always try to win. And likewise, in the business application, you're not going to win every segment. You're not always going to be profitable. You might not win at every business you try to create. Give it your best. Compete with your best foot forward. Compete honestly. Compete sincerely. Compete by the rules, right? Don't try to throw other people down. In a future video, we're going to talk about a competitive environment and how you can actually foster a productive, collaborative, competitive environment as opposed to a cutthroat environment. But give it your best. Now you have the strategies to compete. Now it's time to run. So go out there, give it your best, and make sure you do everything you can to help your business succeed. All right, guys, we will see you in the next video.